Mark my words. Mark, we've been talking about it's kind of high school recruits and highly sought after 5-star, 4-star, regardless recruits picking a school,
Right.
picking a college in particular to go to, and we see now there's been a recent in the last year or two a push for HBCUs, our top athletes to choose to attend HBCUs. What are your thoughts on these stars, these high school stars choosing to potentially choosing to attend HBCU and play their collegiate careers there?
I'm kind of not on the fence, but I'm kind of balanced. Both ways. I what I think is really good is the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Something you say all the time. Man, as long as you're in a conversation.
Yeah.
Like like LeBron and the MJ and the GOAT debate.
Yeah.
As long as just LeBron being in the conversation, that's really all anybody can ask for. But man, just these HBCUs being on these guys' lists or even being considered or being in a conversation, what I think that's having a positive impact. Sports wise, that may kind of give lesser athletes a different trajectory or thought process on a PWI versus or a high major versus a HBCU. But then also on the flip side I think some of it is becoming a little commercial.
Yeah.
Which is we've talked about as well. You got whether if it's the athletes in particular, it's trendy now. Let me throw this HBCU or let me rock this HBCU shirt or short or gear, whatever, and it's going to trend, especially via social media. And then you got these, rappers and pro athletes and celebrities, entertainers. You got them pushing HBCUs, but it's like, well, what is the return on investment on that? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we just doing it because it's trendy?
Yeah.
Are you doing it because you went there? Are you doing it in the best interest of the kid? So the answer to your question is, I would love to see, athletes of color or in particular black athletes, go to our schools. But at the end of the day, man, kid got to do what's best for them.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, if it's a kid trying to play professional, if he feels this school or this institution or this program or this coaching staff can get him there, I mean, who are we to fault him for it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or if this is just a regular student, if they feel that, their career path or where they want, what they aspire to do in life, that they can get that at this institution, whether if it's HBCU, PWI, 2-year, 4-year. I mean, that's on them.
Yeah.
And I think, that, people have to respect it. Again, I would love to see black athletes at HBCUs. However, they got to do what's best for them and their families.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be great. I mean, the whole point of the HBCU push, as far as athletics, is keeping when I say our, I mean our black athletes at our black schools.
Right.
Which is completely understandable because people, bring up the example. What if the Fab Five went to FAMU? You know what I'm saying? It's like they could have ran the table and maybe went to the national championship from HBCU, which is great. But and I'll bring up I Am Athlete because that's a podcast we watch.
Right.
Shannon Crowder kept it real about it. He was like, these HBCUs can't offer what these high majors have, just as far as meal plan and facilities and stuff like that. And then everybody else was kind of like, when I say everybody else, I mean everybody else on the podcast was just kind of like, oh, you can, just go to, what I mean, you can go to this HBCU, you can just figure it out or whatever. But it's pros and cons for each. What I don't like is what you said. The trendy has a trendy thing,
right?
Like if you're, and this goes for people that are in the league now, because I see people that are in the league now that didn't go to HBCUs wearing HBCU gear and support black college gear and stuff like that. Like if you mean it, cool. Like I'm an HBCU grad. great experience. You know, the school wise, it's a great experience. I mean, you know, made lifelong friends. Just the culture and just, you know what I mean, how fun it was, and just being around black people that are successful and getting their degrees and stuff. It's not like getting that experience is, you know, one of a kind. You can't get that anywhere else. But I don't like how hypocritical people are about it. Like, if you're gonna do it, do it. Like, if you're gonna support it, support it. Like, even with these, I'll speak on just the high school kids first. If you're seriously considering HBCU, then cool.
Pursue it, yeah.
But yeah, then cool. But if you're not, don't do it because, you know, you just went to a protest last week, or, you know, some unarmed black man got killed, and it's like you feel like, oh, now I gotta take a visit to, you know, Prairie View. You know what I mean? It's fake to me.
Right.
And even and that's on the high school tip. So even like the guys now, either they're retired or, you know, in the league now, it's like, you know, you're wearing HBCU gear, you're pushing HBCUs. You ask, oh, where you go? Florida, Alabama. It's like, you know what I mean? And and I'll speak on Chad Johnson. He said he wanted to go to FAMU. Right. You know, he's from Florida, but he said he didn't have the grades, so he went JUCO, and then he went to Oregon State for college. All right, understandable. But like, I just feel like people are pushing it because it's easy for them to do now because everything is done. Their careers are over. It's easy to push the HBCU now because it's like,
their career is thriving. Right.
It's easy to go ahead and push that now, but it's like, and I just feel like people are trying to push that HBCU thing because of that, because they're thriving or their careers are over with. When they were in that moment where they could have decided that they didn't do it. People want to, like, the whole thing. People want to be for the culture on someone else's expense. Right. And that's what I don't like. You know what I mean?
Man, JID got a line. A Dreamville artist, for those who don't know. He said, everybody want to be a, but nobody want to be a when it's time to be a. And that's how I feel about the HBCU situation. Again, I would love to see our athletes at our schools. However, we can't encourage these young athletes. And I know we keep saying but this is in general. We can't keep encouraging these young black student athletes to attend HBCUs for the classics, the band, the you know, oh, so and so was alumni, for the majorette. Like, no, like, if we're gonna stir our youngest this way, then we have to have something set up for them. Yeah. So again, and you know, Bron's one of my favorite athletes, NBA. Bron wearing a FAMU shirt, that's cool. But I got two things with that. What does FAMU have to offer this 5-star athlete that's trying to get where you are, Bron? Yeah. And then my second thing, is Bron even considering a HBCU FAMU? You feel what I'm saying? And that's no knock to anybody. Yeah. CP3 is probably one of the biggest advocates for HBCUs now. At the same time, it's like, well, he went to Wake Forest. I think his family may have went to Wake Forest or something. No. His family went. I think his family went to a HBCU. Yeah. But he went to, you know, Wake Forest. So my thing is, you probably went to Wake Forest because you were trying to get to where you are now, and that was your route. And it's again, it just goes back to people just gotta do their research, do their homework, and make a decision for themselves and their families on what can get them where they want to go. Yeah. But I definitely agree with Shannon from the I Am Athlete podcast. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, man, you go over here, it's around the clock. Coaching staff, you know, HBCU may have a selected because they can't afford the coaching staff that a Kansas or a Duke or Kentucky can afford. Now again, I'm not, you know, if you decide to go HBCU or you decide to go PWI, do what's best for you, right? And be 100 wherever, but don't choose to go HBCU because it's training, but also don't turn down HBCU because everything looks shiny over here. You know what I'm saying? Because today, dude, wherever the media is, dude, you can get wherever you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, like, one thing I would suggest to these young athletes is the cameras are coming wherever you are,
Yep.
whether if it's HBCU or PWI, high major, low major, JUCO, wherever. The cameras are coming where the talent is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so wherever you are, that's where they're coming.
I just don't like the clout chasing
Right.
of it.
Right.
It's like people want the culture to. People want to do it for the culture. Like I said, I already said this, but I want to reiterate. People want to do it for the culture on someone else's expense.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna push a black school. I ain't gonna go though, but make sure y'all go.
Right.
I don't like that. I'm not gonna support or push nothing that I wouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? So like, I just don't like the hypocrisy of it. I really don't. And that's just around the. I mean, that goes for, you know, high school kids pump faking like they're gonna go to HBCU, or guys currently in the league that went to Kentucky Duke somewhere that's wearing HBCU gear that does nothing, that do nothing for HBCUs, or the retired athletes that do nothing for HBCUs but just, you know, want to wear the gear and stuff because it looks cool. Like, that doesn't make you down for the cause.
Yeah.
Because you wearing some support black college hoodie. Or something. You know what I'm saying?
And my last point is, we can't use these athletes either, because it's like, well, if they go to the PWI or the high major, you know, that's millions of dollars in tickets and merchandise and this whoop-de whoop.
And then they come here.
But
they gonna bring
they go,
money.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can't we got to be in it for them. Right. We can't use them for us.
Yeah.
But I mean, and time will tell. Like I said, I love to see, you know, our young women and men, athletes at our schools. But they got to do what's best for them. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you're good enough to play at the next level and stuff, I mean, you know, they're gonna find you wherever you at.
Right.
My whole point is just, if you're about it, then be about it. Don't just do it for the clout, or do it for Instagram, or do it because it looks cool and you want to seem like you down for the culture or down for a certain cause. And that goes for anything. I mean, we on HBCU type, but that goes for anything. Like, be about it. It just looks bad. Right. You know what I mean? It just looks bad. I mean, if you're considering a HBCU and you choose to go to, and I'm not saying you know, just because you considering it may not be a good fit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you're selling out if you pick a PWI or Power 5 over HBCU, but it's like, you know, it's been a good amount of recruits that you know, just try to act like they know good and well they're not going. They just want to, like I said, that in the moment they feel like they have to do that. So
and you got the Maker kid that went to
went to
Howard. We also can't use that as a bar. He didn't really have the success or the season that, you know, that the media or even fans would have thought that he would have. I mean, we can't use that as, don't choose HBCU because this high major kid did it and it flopped. Again, like, I'll just keep reiterating that, you know, these athletes, they have to do what's best for them and their families.
For sure.
So
just be about it, man. If you're gonna support it for real, then, you know, be about it. What's going on, everybody? It's Jay Duke.
My name is Mark Brown.
Hey, bro, come on, turn up, man. You gotta wake up, bro.
What's good, y'all? My name is Mark Brown.
Make sure y'all keep watching, man. We got great content on the way. Make sure y'all keep checking us out.